The vice presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Kashim Shettima, says the party's flag bearer, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, has the capacity to positively transform Nigeria and set the country on the path of economic prosperity and development. The former Borno State Governor spoke when he received the professional forum of the APC, led by a former Nigerian ambassador to the United States of America, Mohammed Hassan. Senator Shettima says no one will be allowed to divide Nigeria across religious lines, and the choice of the party's vice presidential candidate is not to denigrate any religious faith, adding that Nigeria has serious security issues to contend with, and the government is working to tackle these issues.
And I want to reassure Nigerians. They are accusing him of an attempt at Islamizing Nigeria.
That's true.
Has he started with Islamizing his own family? Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, yes, his running mate might be a Muslim, but his life mate of over 40 years is not only a Christian, but a pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God.
That's right.
He did not impose his own Islamic faith on his own children. He was the first governor to hand over mission schools back to their owners.
That is true.
He has groomed people from all walks of life.
Now let's talk to the APC National Publicity Secretary Felix Moka, who joins me live in the studio for more on the Muslim presidential ticket. Thank you for finding time to come tonight.
Thank you.
So for proponents of those who do not agree with the position of the APC's presidential candidate in the way he has gone picking his running mate, they're looking at perhaps the top 3 or 4 political parties in this race and saying that APC alone has gone this route. The question on their lips is, couldn't Asiwaju have found someone who is credible, who is capable, but who is of a different religious platform apart from the choice he's made?
Thank you very much. The candidate of the All Progressives Congress, His Excellency Bola Tinubu, has made a decision and chosen the former governor of Borno State, Shettima, as his running mate. Now, he has made a strategic decision. Now, keep in mind, we're speaking about the candidate of a party who is contesting in the next year's general election for the highest office in this land. Now, that's a decision you make, with a lot of factors in mind. And, the key factor is actually political strategy. It's not a moral decision. It's not a religious decision. It's a decision that enables him, on behalf of the party, to compete and win the presidential election. And I think that's what it is. And I think that people need to really focus on that. And in any event, why are we having this conversation about the religion of the vice presidential candidate or nominee at this point? Why are we having that conversation? APC gave mandate to a southern candidate in the person of Governor Asiwaju. The opposition party, the main opposition party, the PDP, gave that mandate to a northern candidate on their behalf to follow up on, potentially, at the election of 8 years of a northern president. Now, that should be the conversation, because the PDP itself has enshrined in its constitution the whole idea of rotation. That after a term or 2 terms of a president from one part of the country, it rotates. They flagrantly breached that provision of their constitution and of the Nigerian constitution in regards to federal character. That should be the conversation here. It shouldn't be whether the vice presidential candidate of the APC is Christian or Muslim. It should be the fact that the PDP did completely trash everything that was good about, our rotational system to offer us a candidate from the North, in addition to the chairman of the party who is from the North, in addition to the chairman of their board of trustee who is also from the North. That should be the conversation we're having today.
I'm sure you will agree with me that, unfortunately, the APC doesn't have the liberty to drive the conversation as much as respond to what has been reaction from the people. After all, democracy is all about the people and what they have to say. But let's look at the what Asiwaju said in a statement after picking the former Borno State Governor. He did mention that the spirit of 1993 is upon us. I'd like us to compare what happened 30 years ago. Do you think the realities, the circumstances are the same?
The realities of Nigeria have not changed. Everything as we know it now is what it was as of 93. All of the issues, whether it's, ethnicity, whether it's religion, whether it's, anything, then the whole, idea of democracy and the whole challenge to restore, democracy to Nigeria, we're all on the front burner. Nothing has changed. The actors may have changed. Some of the circumstances, nuances, and imperatives of the moment may be different. That's to be expected. But fundamentally, nothing has changed, significantly, from where it was in 1993.
How united would you say the APC itself is behind this decision, particularly governors in the North?
The party is united behind the decision. It is the prerogative of the candidate to make that call. He has made the call. And yes, in a party, like in any family, in any institution, people are bound to have, a variety, if you will, of opinions and positions on any one issue. But once the, relevant authorities have made that call, I think it behoves on, all members of the party to actually, rally around it, even though they may not necessarily agree with all of that decision. But it is, expected that they would, rally around it, because this is not a decision that was made, lightly. It was made, after very protracted, consultations with all of the sections of the party. Listen, if Asiwaju had chosen, a Northern Christian, we will still be having some kind of conversation. That's the funny thing. So that there was no way to have a perfect, decision on this matter, irrespective of where it went. If he did select, a Northern Christian, I bet there are people who will also frame an issue for discussion. And we may be here also having that conversation. But I think that he has made a decision. And I think the party is, solidly behind that decision. And we're hoping that, our members and the general public will actually look at what the APC has offered. For those who are concerned, the Christians and people in the South who have, of course, every reason from their own perspective to be concerned about this. I think that it's their prerogative, it's their right, and we respect that. But we only invite them to actually look at what is really at stake. Nobody, in my thinking, in my own understanding of politics, really goes out to cast a vote for the vice president necessarily. We run an executive presidential system where all of the powers under our constitution is concentrated in the presidency. And we thought that, our members who were at the primaries thought that after 8 years of the Buhari, government, that it was, best to, cede that authority to someone from the South. We've done that. The PDP didn't do that. And I think that, quite frankly, and quite contrary to your point earlier, we have the right to raise the issues because it is very legitimate issue to discuss. Why we are talking about the religion of the vice presidential candidate of the APC, whereas the PDP completely trashed, to me, what is the most important issue here, which is, the presidency that was ceded to the north of Nigeria, again, in breach of the, rotational principles, which they themselves have, typically, celebrated and pushed, in years past.
We'll see how all of this play out in the coming months. Felix Mork has a National Publicity Secretary of the APC.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you so much for having me.